This is a quote from HBCU Nightly, or at least their Twitter account. Okay. It reads, F it. I'm convinced now. Basketball is where we can even the score in sports. This is where we can really even the odds in sports at a much faster and more efficient rate. I'm about to start writing more checks directly to the basketball program. Never played, but I see it now. I told y'all. I keep telling y'all. But folks won't listen to you, dear old first. Well, let's talk about this briefly. Okay, let's talk about this briefly. Before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am your homeboy First, and this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, put all your people on it. Also, fuck with our sponsor, the King McNeil Collection. That is the King McNeil Collection for all of your fraternity and sorority needs. In terms of your gear, I'm seeing some of these lines being revealed. Okay, so they gonna want some new gear. So go ahead and go to the King McNeil Collection and get them some. Okay, go to kingmcneil.com or download the app. You will get 20% off your first purchase. And they have a lot of other deals that they be doing as well. So keep up with them. There is the King McNeil Collection. They are black owned, they are family owned, and they are the best. Tell them First Century. All right. Let's get into this. I ain't gonna spend too much time on this because I keep telling y'all. I done told y'all this countless times. I've said this in countless segments. I've said this repeatedly. Basketball is where it is. Come on, man. A lot of us don't want to accept that. But we got to accept that. Basketball is where it is. I think part of the reason that some of us don't get it is that last line that this account said. Never played, but I see it now. See, the hoop community is smaller, at least in the United States. It's smaller than the football community. Okay. Globally, basketball is bigger than American football. Okay. It is. All right. Soccer is the world's game, but after that, I would say it's basketball based on the shit I be seeing. Okay. The NFL is trying to get football to pop globally now, but as I've told you before, I tutored a man from Saudi Arabia when I was in college. And that man was baffled by this idea of what we call American football. Okay. That man was like, this is fighting. This is fighting. Why do y'all want to do this? He didn't get it. Okay. So globally, yeah, basketball, that shit. But here domestically, football is king, Jack. It is. Okay. And also, football teams are larger. There are more players on a football team. It's more all encompassing. Okay. You got some guys who might not be that athletic, but you're kind of big, you're kind of stocky, okay? So you can get on that line and do something, okay? You ain't got to be just tall, you know what I'm talking about? Like the average man in America is 5'9". I'm 6 feet tall, so I'm above average height. But in basketball, I'm short because to be a basketball player, you kind of got to already be a little abnormal in terms of your height. Football ain't necessarily like that. It's not. You can be 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", 6 feet, okay, in football, and really go out there and do your damn thing, okay? Of course, I'm not talking about your big offensive tackles and all that kind of shit. Yeah, those are some fucking behemoths, okay? But you got some goddamn little scat backs out here about 5'7", 200. You know what I'm saying? You got some wide receivers, my height, goddamn, go out there and dominate. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what I should have done is played football. So 6 feet, I could jump out the gym. You know what I'm talking about? This damn scoliosis. My mom wouldn't let me go out there. Okay. But you get it. What I'm saying is there are more jobs and more opportunities to play from a pee-wee level all the way to middle school level and high school level. More people play, more guys get a chance to play football. And so I think they have this tie to football that they don't have to basketball. Okay. It's a smaller roster. It involves a lot more running. Okay. A lot more running. That's something that run a lot of motherfuckers off. Okay. That violence run a lot of boys off from football. Okay. That violence. But that running will run a damn football player back to that field too. Okay. That's a lot of running, Jack. Trust me, I know. I've done my share of running and I've done my share of making motherfuckers run. You understand? So it's smaller. Okay. It's smaller. You might have at most, 15 boys on the basketball team? 15 girls? You look out there on the football field, you got 50 motherfuckers out there, 60 motherfuckers, 70 motherfuckers running out there. College, you got goddamn. What, 100 people? You know what I'm saying? So I think people have more ties to football and they seem to understand it more than they understand basketball, which leads to them not understanding the type of shit I'm talking about when I get to talking ball. Okay. That's one part. Another thing though is some of us can't get past that. Yeah, we're black schools, we're historically black schools, okay? HBCU. But we're also small schools, baby. We are small schools. Small. So it's not only us that get whooped up by some of these group of 5 teams and power 5 teams in football. Them little white schools gonna get their ass whooped too. And they haven't been racially discriminated against. They have not been systematically underfunded, okay? It's just that they are small, they don't have the damn the alumni base, therefore they don't have the donor base, therefore they can't get the kids, the stud players there, and therefore they gonna get their asses kicked when they go against the bigger schools. And I think sometimes we just be thinking, oh, it's the race thing. We can just get our boys to come back home and they can just value their own and get them to stop thinking white is right. Man, all that shit sound good. I keep saying, but we ain't from the civil rights movement, these goddamn athletes into the turning down all of that money to come play for us like that. Not no football. We might get 1 or 2 to do that. But in football, it has such moving parts. Too many players. It's the ultimate team game. Fuck what mainstream media is doing. Fuck what they are doing by promoting the quarterback like they're doing. All they're trying to do, they're trying to steal from David Stern's playbook. David Stern, former commissioner of the National Basketball Association, he learned that a brilliant way to market basketball was to take the superstar player and make them the attraction and make players make the fans want to come see those players. Okay, so what football did, even though it's the ultimate team game, okay, they said, damn, let's do that with the quarterback. Let's do that with the quarterback. Okay, let's make everybody want to come see Brady versus Manning. When half the game, Brady was gonna be sitting on his ass, and Peyton Manning gonna be sitting on his ass while their defenses were out there. They just sell the quarterback. But y'all know good and hell well, it's way more that matters in football than just a stud quarterback. Y'all know that. For those of us that fuck with Jackson State University, we had Shedeur Sanders as our quarterback for 2 years and didn't win the Celebration Bowl. Shedeur going to the NFL draft. Based on a lot of mock drafts, they got Shedeur probably being the first pick in next year's draft. Not this one coming up, of course. Okay. Shedeur bad motherfucker. Didn't win it. Okay. Didn't beat. Not even Power 5. We didn't play a Power 5 under Prime. We played with a group of 5 team and lost. Should have won. Should have won. In my opinion, we should have won. But we lost. Football, you got to have an offensive and defensive line. Okay? You got to have, look, man, you got 5 motherfuckers on the offensive line. 5. You see Colorado out there in Power 5 right now. We got their teeth kicked in last year because they didn't have them 5 men up there. Okay? Then you need a defensive line, and depending on your scheme, that determines how many defensive linemen you gonna need. Okay. Well, some teams got that, but then they ain't got no linebackers. Then some teams got that, then they ain't got no DBs. They giving up shit left and right in the pass game. Okay. Or go back to offense. You might have a line, but then you ain't got no skill guys that can do shit. Okay. You might have a decent quarterback, but then you throw the ball to the receiver, they dropping shit left and right. Okay. Your running backs can't hit the hole. They goddamn dancing around and shit instead of hitting the hole, or they injury prone. Okay. It's a lot of shit that goes into football. Let's focus on the injuries. That's another one. Let's say we're able to successfully pay a stud kid less money to come play with Jackson State University or whatever your HBCU is. Okay. But the violent nature of football, there's a high likelihood that kid might get hurt. Because injuries are common in football. It is not a contact sport. It is a collision sport. So now we can sit up here and pay the kid that goddamn don't do nothing but play 1-2 games because he got hurt. That's the game. So now what? Hope you got enough money that you paid somebody to come in for him. Hope you got some talent, some depth. That takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money. Okay? That's the reason why you see it's levels. It's really, really levels to this shit when it comes to football. It really is. So many in our community are saying, oh, we can't, when we gonna move up to FBS? When we gonna move up to FBS? But you know what them group of 5 FBS teams are saying? Because I went to Southern Miss for undergrad. Know what Southern Miss is trying to figure out? When we gonna go to the SEC? I went there. We felt like stepchildren in here in Mississippi. Stepchildren. Looking at Mississippi State and Ole Miss in the SEC and looking at us down there at that time in the lowly conference USA, playing Memphis and UAB and shit and feeling left out. We had a coach down there at that time, Jeff Bauer, who consistently had us winning, had us ranked and everything. But we were feeling like we ain't taking that next step. How can we move up? How can we get better? So them motherfuckers trying to figure out how they can be Mississippi State or Ole Miss. But then Mississippi State and Ole Miss, they trying to figure out how can we be Alabama? How can we be LSU? There are levels to that football. And it's very hard to crack through. You routinely have your powerhouses coming through that bitch. You do. So that's tough. That's tough. Can it happen? Yeah, but it's wildly expensive. Wildly expensive. Okay. So we don't have the size. We just don't have the size. And because of systemic racial discrimination in this country and the racial wealth gap, we ain't got that kind of money. But basketball is different. Basketball is different. We've seen smaller schools go on to rise to great prominence in basketball. Mid-major programs like Gonzaga, who, in the grand scheme of things, their conference is consistently shitted on. But they dominate that fucking conference every year. They win games in the non-conference every year. And then when it comes tournament time, they be in the mix for a national title. They be in the mix. They ain't won it yet, okay? But they be in the mix for that bitch, okay? One of my beloved youngins, Brandon Weatherspoon, he's put it on some before. Shout out to him. Shout out to Fat. He went to Florida Atlantic. They went to the Final Four last year. The Final Four from a mid-major conference. Okay? You just saw Oakland knock off Kentucky. And I ain't talking about Oakland, California. No. I ain't talking about no damn Oakland, California. These motherfuckers out of Michigan. From what I understand, they used to be D2. Used to be D2. But they sat up there and knocked off the mighty Kentucky Wildcats, a blue blood. Do you understand me? That would be like Jackson State football beating Ohio State. Do you understand? It can happen. Just because a motherfucker got hot. One player going crazy in basketball can happen. Football, that shit is very tough. That shit is tough. That motherfucker took 23s. What is that, Jake Golke? Took 23s in that game, hit 10 of them, 32 points. He ain't shoot a damn two, didn't attempt a two. Whenever I get back on that court, my youngest, that's gonna be my life. Fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot that bitch. But knocked him off. That's basketball. In front office sports reports that a 3 seed Kentucky spent $23.6 million on their basketball team in 2023. Whereas Oakland, the 14 seed, spent $2.3 million. That shit can happen. I didn't know this school existed until they did this. But see, sports teams really are the number one advertisers for a university. So by us getting behind basketball, becoming a booster, whether it's big dollar a booster or small dollar booster for basketball, you can contribute to something like this happening. You can. And that wasn't the only upset. There have been other upsets, okay? I could point to throughout the last 2 years where HBCU programs have been knocking off Group of 5 PWIs and Power 5 PWIs, okay? We just saw Grambling win in that basically play-in first four tournament game. Great advertising for Grambling, okay? Great advertising for Grambling. You understand? On a national scale. Now, some may say, well, the Celebration Bowl is on a national scale. Yeah, it is. Well, no, the only motherfuckers that's watching the Celebration Bowl, us. Us and betters. Okay? Betters. So that's really like this thing of ours. That's our baby. And I love it. See, we're in a unique position when it comes to this shit. We can get into the game nationally for real with basketball. We can, while still maintaining something that remains uniquely ours with football, okay? With our pageantry and our football traditions, okay? And our love for the SWAC and the MEAC and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we can really keep that. I love the Celebration Bowl. Basically, we're an FBS team already. That's what we're playing for is a bowl game. We don't give a fuck about no FCS playoffs. Fuck them. We play for that bowl to decide the black national champion. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But we can keep that. And just let that be this thing of ours. And say, fuck these dreams of glory in a Power 5. That was crazy that we were thinking that when Prime was here. Knowing goddamn well we ain't got the size for that shit. But in basketball, you can be a small school and rise to prominence. All it takes is maybe just one revolutionary player, just one, and a coach that know how to do their motherfucking thing. Then your program takes off. Cause see, that's another thing about basketball, especially men's basketball, particularly. If they a stud, they just gonna be in school until the tournament over. Just being 100. Yeah, I mean, I've said before, it's stupid that America ties athletics to academia. It's stupid. Okay. These brilliant athletes, they come up through high school and shit like that. Luka Doncic was playing professional basketball at 16. He's playing professional basketball at 16. Clearly, I mean, anybody with eyes can see what God had given him by that time. Same thing over here. But we tie sports to academia. Okay. So we make these kids go through this process. All right, but the men basketball player, it's gonna be one and done, Jack. It's gonna be one and done. So why not get them to spend that one damn year here with us at HBCU? You're more likely to get a basketball player to spend 6 months on campus with your motherfucking ass than you are to get this 5-star quarterback to spend 3 years with you. 3 years. That's 3 years without, let's say they come and show out, be on some Steve McNair type of shit. You already know what's gonna happen. One of them big white schools gonna come and offer that motherfucker $1 million. And we ain't gonna be able to do shit about that. You know what I'm saying? But if you can get that hooper to come, pay them something, okay? Let's say you say, I'll give your ass $150,000, $200,000. Fuck it, let's say $200,000. $200,000. I'm using these numbers for a motherfucking reason. Remember, I've coached some big time guys, okay? So let's say 150 racks. Well, let's go on the high end. Fuck it. $200,000. We'll give you $200,000. Come and play. Be with us 6 months, whatever. Because of NIL, they still able to goddamn get the endorsements and shit like this. So if they're a stud, come to a HBCU, look at the beautiful story. All the black journalists, we should have them on our side to really pump that shit, pump that shit, pump that shit. The two biggest motherfuckers in big sports media are two HBCU guys. So we should put pressure on those motherfuckers to cover that kind of shit. The same way that they were slurping Deion Sanders when he was down here. You feel me? So they should talk about that shit on First Take and talk about that shit on Nightcap. You know what I'm talking about? If that shit would happen, they should let that recruit go on Club Shay Shay and do an interview and shit. You would let Deion go on Club Shay Shay and do a hit piece on Jackson State. Okay, so if we're able to get one of these studs to my 5-star out of high school, to my high flying, putting that bitch through the legs and dunking that bitch, saucing motherfuckers like Kyrie, shooting that bitch like Steph. One of those youngers, okay? Put him on Club Shay Shay. Let him talk about why he chose to do his one and done at Jackson State, his one and done at Grambling, his one and done at FAMU, at Howard, rather than going to Texas to do his one and done like KD, rather than going to Kentucky to do his one and done, unlike John Wall. You feel me? These just two names that popped in my head. Okay. Like the motherfucker can still be getting money from these other sources. We can goddamn do the same documentary like the Coach Prime doc, do a little doc on the young blood. Okay, when it come through. And then we pack these gyms. Pack them. Be electric. And what they gonna do? Make other motherfuckers want to come. They might say, well, first, where we gonna get $200,000 now? Well, we ain't got that either. We ain't got this. We ain't $200,000. I was at the games this year, the football games. Okay. How many games? Four motherfuckers at that Alcorn game? 40, 45,000 motherfuckers. I don't know, 50,000. I don't know. Lot of people. Okay. 200,000. Let's say I can get folks to just chip in $100 a pop. All I need is 2,000 people to do that. Out of them 40,000 people I saw at the Alcorn game, let's say 10,000 of those were Alcorn people. So let's say it was 30,000 Jacksonians in that bitch. Out of that 30,000, I just need 2,000 to drop 100. Just 100. You feel me? You spend 100 on some dumb shit. You can spend 100 on a ticket at the casino. You just spent 100 when you went to the liquor store and bought 2/5. You can put it all together. You can spend 100 on a dinner. Hell, I took my family to Cheesecake Factory. Them motherfuckers charged me $183. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? 100, 2,000 folks to just give 100. I'm just talking small dollar boosters. I ain't even talking about y'all motherfuckers that really got that bread already. This is very doable. This is doable, man. And that one player, that one bucket will be transformative. That motherfucker gonna go. It's doable. We have been beating some of these group of 5 PWIs and these power 5 PWIs without that type of player. So imagine what the fuck we would do with one of those players. And if we talk about the women's game, that number probably would be cheaper. You understand? Just how the dynamics is with women's sports and men's sports. Even though I told you we're in the golden age of women's sports, okay, particularly women's basketball, okay. But still, the viewership, while it's climbing, it's still below men, okay. So I'm assuming that dollar would be lower. But even if it's not, get your ass. We spend that money. Give Coach Reed, who I hope we retain, give her a mileage for Wiley. Give her one of those. Help her keep somebody like Madison Booker in the motherfucking state. You know what I'm saying? Give her a juju and see what she do. You understand? What the fuck we talking about, man? What we talking about, man? It's just common sense, dog. Hey, dog, this just common sense. This just common sense. The injury threat is less in basketball. Like what happened with Jack State men's basketball is abnormal. That ain't normal for a basketball team to be decimated with injuries like that. That ain't normal. I'm a hooper. We roll ankles and shit. That's the norm. We jam our finger and shit like that. We do that. Okay. The type of shit that be going on in football, what happened with Mr. Mulligan for Jack State University? You know, the young king I be saying, give Mr. Mulligan the damn ball. That's abnormal. But for that kind of injury that happened in basketball, okay? I ain't talking about the NBA, okay? By the NBA, you know, I don't know what the hell be going on with that load management. And I've said before, I think these motherfuckers play too much AAU, and by the time they in that league deep for real, their bodies wear out on them. But at this level, at least, for the most part, shorter season, 30 games or whatever, for the most part, players get through it. They do. So you get more of a return on your investment. Okay? And you have more home games. So that you can get that revenue. You can raise the ticket price. Motherfuckers gonna come if they got something to be excited about. An electrifying basketball player is perfect for this social media era. Look at what the world did the other day when Anthony Edwards did that dunk. When Kyrie hit that left hand game winner. When Steph does anything. Come on, man. Caitlin Clark, look at what she's done to ticket prices, to viewership. Come on, man. Get with it, man. It's the only feasible way for us to really catch up in sports. It's the only feasible way. That football ship has sailed. That's a wrap. Integration killed that shit. Integration killed that shit. They wouldn't play us when the dogs were forced to be at our schools, okay? But then after they start integrating, they'll play you now for a check and to hand you out an ass whooping, okay? Ain't gotta be like that in basketball. Does not have to be like that. It doesn't. But we got to get behind it. Become a booster for basketball. Small dollar booster on up to your big boys and girls, okay? You ain't got to be a member of the Tiger Fund to be a booster. You ain't got to do that. It'll be nice, but you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to be a member of the 1400 Club. I'm talking Jack State shit right now, but whatever your school is, whatever y'all funding network is, it don't take all that. You can be a small dollar booster. Politics does this shit all the time. You got big you got big contributors who can goddamn get Joe Biden on the phone. Hell, from the kind of money they be dropping. But you know what else Joe Biden do? He send emails out to me. He be trying to get $5 out of me all the goddamn time. Hell, Trump getting so goddamn desperate, he's starting to send shit in the mail to my mama. Politicians do it. Why can't we? See, some of the shit we be wanting and that we don't have, we have to look in the mirror when it comes to college athletics. See, in the pros, you got a team owner, okay? Some of the shit I snap about with my Los Angeles Lakers, I can't do shit about it. Why? Because that's the Buss family. Jeannie Buss and her family run that shit, okay? Some of y'all Cowboy fans out there, you can say all the shit you want, but y'all got Jerry Jones, and if Jerry Jones don't want to move, he ain't gonna move. You understand? But college athletics ain't like that. You can point at the AD all you want, but the AD can't do what they ain't got the dollars to do. And where they get the dollars from? The boosters. So the boosters really run the show. You can look at yourself as a team owner. So if you ain't got what you want on your team, you have to say, have I been contributing? Did I do my part? Even if it was $10. You know what I'm saying? I said $100 per person could get us up to that 200,000 if we had 2,000 people do it. But if we did smaller donations, but a larger number of people, we can still hit the same mark and get that money to whoever it need to go to in a collective or anything like that. You know, them boys over there with Ken Clark and them boys know a lot about a lot more about the collective game and all that kind of stuff when it comes to Jack State University. Okay. Shout out to them over there. Okay. But we get the money to whoever fucking need to go to. And we let our coaches know, hey, here go a bag. Go seek out and get us somebody. Go seek out and get us somebody. Tell them, yeah, I know you might be coming from some struggle, but God damn it, you can come here to Jack State University and I got a bag of money right here, 200 racks. Come spend your 6 months with us. And that's for the men, because the women's rule ain't like that. Okay, the women's rule ain't like that. But for the women, let's break that bitch up and say, all right, you won't stay here 4 years with us. Let's split this 200 racks up over this time. We got you. We're going to guarantee you got this money. Whatever. I don't know. I would have to look at the numbers. I'm just telling you, it's way more possible in basketball than in motherfucking football. So let's treat football as this thing of ours. We're going to keep it running. We're going to keep our traditions. We love our shit. And I hope Jack State University win the fucking Celebration Bowl this year, okay? And I know y'all hope your school wins as well, okay? I ain't getting into all that. Fuck all that, okay? I just want to see us win as black people. I want to see some black run shit win. I want to see black owned shit win. I love that shit when black owned shit wins. That's what I want, okay? And when it comes to athletics, collegiate athletics, it can happen in basketball way quicker and more easily than it can in football. And I'm glad that some are starting to see that. Put it on some.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.